So a way you can kind of rationalize this is the body only builds more androgen receptors when it believes you're a man who can handle more of that hormonal power. Receptors increase only when your physiology believes that you are deserving of them. So with that in mind, here's a 30-day sacrament to the masculine gods that will prove just that. Look, most biohacks are kind of cosplay. It's posturing. It's trying to get your physiology to respond to something that fundamentally isn't true, but heavy, ugly, my ancestors are watching me lifting weights, that's real. We actually have human studies showing that when you lift heavy, your muscles build more androgen receptors, like they're installing extra firmware or RAM for testosterone. Guys with more ARs in their muscle gain more strength, more size, more response, even when their hormones are identical. So bench press over biohacking. Shocking, I know, but here's some free game for your head top. Resistance training increases androgen receptors, mRNA, and protein in human skeletal muscle. AR content correlates with hypertrophy more than testosterone levels. Let me say that one more time. Androgen receptors have a stronger relationship with muscle growth than testosterone levels do. And mechanical tension is the system to facilitate AR availability, not blood hormone. So this is what a 30-day implementation from this perspective kind of looks like. Your training should be 3 to 4 times a week. Big compound movements. Don't bitch out on this. Squat, deadlift, bench, overhead press, row. Intensity, 4 to 6 reps. Slow negatives. Clean form, but you can get ugly at the end when you're going near to failure. And sets kind of 12 to 16 per session. And why this matters? It's intense mechanical tension, which is the only intervention, directly proven to upregulate androgen receptors in human beings. Everything else is kind of supporting cast. So this is the part that nobody wants because it isn't really cinematic. But zinc deficiency absolutely nukes androgen signaling in animals. The receptors shrink, testosterone falls, luteinizing hormone collapses. It's like hormonal Chernobyl. So what we want to do is fix zinc and the receptors come back online like a system reboot. The more interesting law on vitamin D is the active form literally increases androgen receptor abundance in certain human tissues, especially in the reproductive tract. For those of you who are still abusing yourselves sexually, vitamin D is like WD-40 for receptor machinery. It is scientific par for the course that zinc deficiency reduces AR expression and androgen signaling. Correcting zinc restores AR positive cell signaling, and active vitamin D increases AR abundance in several human type cells. Day implementation: zinc picolinate 20 to 30 milligrams per day with food, magnesium glycinate 300 to 400 milligrams at night, vitamin D3 and K2 2000 to 4000 IUs, not IUDs, a day. Sunlight 10 to 20 minutes, if you can, on the skin, if you live in a place like Bangkok, like me, where it's always shining. Do be wary on overdosing on zinc, though, because copper depletion is a real thing. So here, we're not boosting testosterone, we're restoring the raw materials required for the receptor system to function optimally. Now, creatine doesn't raise testosterone much, but it does raise DHT, the stronger, meaner brother of testosterone. And DHT, I don't know if you know this, binds to the AR like it's trying to merge with it, like it's trying to penetrate it deeply. You've got tighter binding, which means longer binding, which means stronger signal. So creatine doesn't build ARs, but it makes the ones that you already have kind of hit a lot harder. I mean, ruminate on some of these facts, by the way. Creatine raised DHT 40 to 50% in a human trial. DHT has a higher affinity and longer occupancy at the androgen receptor. This means AR activation despite stable testosterone. Implementation is your 5 grams a day, even more if you can, maybe up to 20. 2 to 3 liters of water. Salt in your pre-workout for better cell hydration. So the theory behind this is not building more docks, but you're docking in the AR with more force. Boron's weird, isn't it? It's odd, but I have sentimental feelings for the absurd. A quiet supplement, I'd actually say maybe more weak in reputation, but not to me. It's got a strong reputation in my eyes. You know I'm a big fan of boron. It seems to interact with the sex hormone receptors in ways the researchers themselves describe with phrases like modulatory capacity, which is kind of scientific parlance for something is happening and we're confused, or to be more accurate, we haven't fully mapped out the system or protocols yet. So small trials actually showed lower SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin, and higher free testosterone. That's right, the one that we can actually use. Mechanistic papers show boron interacts with your hormone receptors. Not magic, just useful mischief. So here are the cliff notes. Boron contains compounds to bind to and modify sex hormone binding globulin, which means that there is more or increased, I should say, free testosterone and decreased in the sex hormone binding globulin. It influences gene expression related to androgen signaling. Dosages, are more on the higher end, so 6 to 10 milligrams if you can tolerate it. Avoid the boronic acid though, use glycinate or citrate. And bonus points if you pair it with magnesium. So why it matters, it's a subtle AR modulation, not a steroid, not a placebo, just I suppose you can think about it as more leverage. Now, your androgen receptors don't care about your alpha quotes, or mine for that matter. They care more about energy availability, recovery, and whether your body thinks you're dying or not. If you're starving, overcaffeinated, underslept, and stressed like Diddy, your AR system is absolutely not answering your DMs. Sleep deprivation equals lower T and weaker AR signaling. Chronic stress, impaired HPG axis and receptor dysfunction. Poor diet, reduced hormone productivity, and receptor sensitivity. A 30-day implementation looks like getting sleep 7.5 to 9 hours a day, dark, cold room, no caffeine after 2 p.m., magnesium glycinate before bed. Keep it simple, stupid. I'm just going to say on the nutrition front, more fats, eggs, beef, avocado, butter, zero processed foods, and ideally no alcohol. I mean, alcohol is poison, so ideally no poison. Don't poison yourself. Receptors are a sensitive species, especially to poison. If the environment sucks, they go into hiding. They go underground. Now, the last one, just about formulating the correct environment for AR receptivity, is cold. I mean, the cold doesn't grow receptors. I mean, if it did, Wim Hof would be built like one of your pseudo-natural bodybuilders, Mike O'Hearn. But cold does spike norepinephrine and dopamine. It forces your nervous system to harden instead of dissolve into comfort. Quitting adult material, really big one. There's a lot of evidence that I have gone into explicit detail in my book, Masculine Gene Expression, which you can get in the link below. But it's dopamine reset and a receptor reset, because here's the part that no one talks about is sexual overstimulation, adult material, edging, rapid fire climaxing, down regulates androgen receptors, specifically in different parts of the brain. Again, see Masculine Gene Expression in the link below. The body reads it as a reward overload and pulls back on the machinery to protect itself. That's why sexual fatigue feels like your entire masculine system just went bye-bye. Remove the overstimulation and your brain finally stops suppressing the masculine gene expression signal. And that's not a theory, that's a fact. Speak soon.